Hello, and welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sherry Ann.
So, Sharon, will you start pest check-in for us today?
Yes. So, physically, 8.3. Emotionally, 8. Okay. Spirit, 8.75. Hope, 9.2. And my word is, I don't know. Like anything could happen.
Anything's possible. I like
Yes.
the energy.
Okay. Okay. You go.
Physically, I am an 8. Emotionally, I am 8.75. Spiritually, 8.75, and hope is 9. And my word is a jumble of good things.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, the jumble feels like a lot, but the good things feels like a lot too. So I'll take that. So we talk a lot about vocalizing our wants and needs and how important it is to communicate that with people because no one knows what you want, not unless you ask for it or unless you state it. Um, and I think there are a lot of things that we at the Cancer Journey Institute really want, and need as we grow and as we, build communities. So I want to just talk about things that we want without any sort of agenda behind them, not like this is how I'm getting those things that I want and that we want. Um, but yeah, just talking about what we want and what that looks like to us.
So just the what, not the how.
Yeah, not the how. And maybe even just like expressing excitement for what can come out of it.
Right. Okay. So Cancer Journey Institute, CJI, because we always say, ask for what you want. And
Hmm.
there's magic in the telling. So, okay, I'm with you.
Oh, you want me to start? What do I want? I want I want the conversation around cancer to be a little easier. And
Mm,
for as CJI comes into it to kind of help shepherd that conversation. Because even myself, working for this company, like with all of my heart in this company, I still find it hard to approach people sometimes talking about cancer. Like cancer when they know someone, when they themselves have cancer, and as someone who is, one of our coaches as well, like it's, I know that I can show up for that. And I also don't want to push because I am a coach. So I really want to figure out how to make that conversation easier, and more inviting for people.
yeah, I can jump off of that. Um, I would like the conversation around cancer to be easier.
Mhm.
It's not like, oh, that person has cancer. I still feel like it's said in hushed tones or like in, right, whispers or like, oh, what, should I say anything?
Right,
What should I say? And it's like, well,
right.
if this is somebody that you care about, um, then why can't you say things like, and my favorite is, that sucks. It's not my
Yes.
favorite, but it's like, I say it's my favorite because it's like, it's so real. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, crap, that's happening?
Right.
How
Yeah.
do you feel about that? What do you think about that?
Yeah. I so agree. Whenever anyone's going through like a hard situation, especially cancer though, it's like like really
Right.
quiet. It's like it's not Voldemort, first of all. And even then, because we're not saying it, we're giving it more power, by feeling like it has to be in hushed tones, like, oh, it was cancer. It's like, oh, it was cancer, and they live a really full life, and there's so much more than that. But I agree with you that saying that sucks. Honestly, it's what I want to hear when I'm going through a hard situation. I don't want to hear anyone's, oh, I've been through that too, or like, it'll get better. Like, it doesn't need to be toxic positivity. Like, acknowledging how sucky this situation is in this moment for me is super validating. So I totally agree that I want more of
Right.
that in the conversation.
I absolutely agree. And I was in the forefront of um, the birthing of life coaching, where
Mhm.
at when I would say, "Oh, I'm a coach," they'd say, "What team are you coaching?" And it was like, "Oh, I'm 5'2". I'm not a basketball coach or whatever they perceived that I was. But I would love it to be that when we say that oh, I was diagnosed. So it's easier for the person who's diagnosed with cancer to say, yeah, this is what's happening in my life. And then we go, wow. So what do you want to get from this? I mean, not
Yeah.
immediately, like we still need to do the it sucks and be with wherever the
Mhm.
emotion is, but to have this even thought that I can play into the whole journey and pathway, and that I can
Mhm.
not create it, but have input. Like it's not going to be done to me, but I'm gonna kind of orchestrate it with my team, my medical team, my cancer care team, and that
Mhm.
I'm hoping to get something out of this. Like I'm not going to just go through this because it's happening to me. I'm
Mhm.
I'm gonna I'm gonna get something from it. I'm gonna make the most of it.
Yeah, I'm hearing active choice instead of going through it blindly. Just being like, "Just get rid of it, I'm not paying attention," just like it's like that and I think that the conversation, when it gets easier, it creates that bridge even, like, I know that we've talked about, like, when someone's diagnosed and they don't really want to share it with their circle yet, they're not ready, and that's totally fine to still process, but I think it's kind of the largeness of big C cancer is also one of those reasons, but I deeply, deeply believe that the more we can kind of share it and bring people into it and share that reality, because it is reality, and it touches so many more people's lives than um, we're even kind of willing to admit a lot of times. Um, that it builds community to share your experience without
Hmm.
anyone forcing, like, it's about me, it's all about me. And don't get me wrong, there can be times when it can absolutely be about you, but it's cancer's about us, all of us in the community who have been
Right.
touched by it. And everyone gets their
Right.
individual experiences, but it brings us together in a way, and it invites compassion and softness and reflection and deep care and love for people that, like, maybe you didn't think that telling this one individual would, like, open up this relationship that you could have with them, but maybe they really feel capable of stepping up and helping you, and maybe they really want to, and so you can find depth in a connection that you didn't realize there was as much depth in before. There's just so much more opportunity when we keep that, like, line of communication open.
Right. And what I just got was deeper conversation. Like
Mhm.
it is kind of this opening. I mean, first off, yeah, when you're first diagnosed, it's like, oh, shot to the front of that line of mortality. So it's like, okay, so what do I want to do with my life? I'm going to go through this particularly challenging time called treatment. And can we just have a deeper conversation? Whether it's the conversation about life and how we see life, like we don't
Mhm.
ever talk about that really. But hey, here a door just opened. Do we want to walk through that and have a conversation? Because like what you just said, now I can enrich my relationship with you. We might have difference of opinions, but I'm more willing to be open
Mhm.
because right got shepherd to that front of the line. Um, and in addition to that, it's the well then crap, how do I want to live my life? What do I
Mhm.
want to do? What have I put on the back burner and said one day, someday, and didn't do? Like, what's that? That could be an
Yeah.
interesting conversation.
Yeah, and I think it just gives people like the loudspeaker for who they are because there's nothing wrong with remaining mysterious if that's your style. You can still be mysterious, but and you can still share what matters to you and what you want without divulging why or how and your whole history behind it. But you get to share more of yourself and there's space to share more of yourself. I think people are a little scared too and they want a platform. They want someone to ask them like, "Hey, tell me more about this." And so sometimes that's all that it takes to start that conversation. And along these lines, another thing that I really want, and we're kind of based around this, like our company, the Cancer Journey Institute, is very much based around this, but viewing cancer as a journey rather than a battle. Um, and it's really focused on that like anti-battle part of it that I don't love. And I really personally don't like when people say they lost their battle with cancer. Hate that. I really, really don't like that because it's so uneven of the experience. It's not that they
Right.
lost their battle with cancer. Um, that's just that was their journey, that was their life, and that's where it was supposed to go. They didn't do anything wrong. And I think that's what really gets me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they didn't do it right. Like there's a right way to do it. If there was a right way to do it, then tell us. And I'll do every
great.
single step. And if it's right, then I'm going to be fine at the other end, right? But that's not how it works. It's called
Hmm.
life. And what I want is, and I think this is part of the reason why I started the movement, was that we weren't alone, number one. But the second one is that there's somebody who can shepherd you or walk arm in arm with you down the road through this journey that has some experience, has maybe some more skills, like our cancer journey coaches, that
Hmm.
I'm actually learning more about me and we all want to live our best lives, but there's all this other stuff that gets in the way: negative ego, inner critic, other people's perception, people please. I
Hmm.
mean, there's so much that gets in the way. And if we could just clear that out, even for a moment,
Hmm.
to really see what is it that I do want. So answering this, talking about what we're doing right now, what we're talking about is, what do I want? And allowing myself the space and time, and also that person to converse with, to bounce off my ideas and to witness
Yeah.
me and to hear me as I'm saying it out loud. It's like, oh, I want every single person who's ever been diagnosed and going to be diagnosed to have that, because it
Yeah.
is I don't want to use the word transformative, because that's not it. It's like this moment of,
Hmm.
you get me and I get to live life, and let's just do it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like you said so much there. So, I mean, obviously, one of the things that we would love, really want to happen is for everyone to have access and be able to work with a cancer journey coach. And I'm very aware that I feel like out in the world, there are less people who are having these kinds of conversations, right? Like the majority of people are definitely, um, they're kind of just moving on their own path. And so that perspective of having someone who you can talk to and like release that weight with to really the feeling that you were expressing to me feels like being seen, heard, and gotten, which
Mhm.
is exactly what we do and it's exactly what our cancer journey coaches strive to do. I think that may be the only agenda they really have. They want you to feel seen, heard, and gotten. That's the only thing they really truly want. um and so like my deep love would be to have all of these coaches accessible to people, more of these coaches, people trained to be these coaches, and spreading that kind of conversation and perspective that you can have it because it's not asking anyone to change who they are. It's asking them to communicate more of who they are and have a place to share it and have someone that really cares to hear it because I think sometimes people just don't even share because they're like, it doesn't matter. People don't care. People don't care what I want or need. Like, they don't care about like how I get it or any of that. But I think a baseline, people really do care. They want to know, even if they're
Oh,
not able to help fulfill it. Yeah.
for
So
sure.
I want
For
that whole
sure.
wave to take over the majority of the population to make that those kinds of conversations really possible.
Yes, yes. Well, and I'm really excited about the possibilities that we're doing with Japan, where we've got a coach over there. We've got two coaches over there, and they're trying to create this wave there, just as we are here in the States, but that they're taking it into their culture and with their language, and so things will
Mhm.
be translated and they can actually create this place for the conversation so that healing doesn't just happen on the physical level. It's done on every level of our inner
Mhm.
workings, right? The mental, the emotional, the spiritual. What happens when somebody is healed on every level? I mean,
Right.
I'm just joy, living your best life,
Mhm.
stepping up
Yeah.
and feeling real and powerful.
Mhm. I don't know what category of medicine it is, but it's that like the mental affecting your emotion, your physical, right? Like if you really truly believe that like you're sick and you're not get well, or you're sick and there are these boundaries because of that, you're more likely to perpetuate that manifesting. Um,
Right.
but if you believe that you're healing and you really truly believe like there's more to life than this illness, like there's more to me than this illness, that starts to manifest in your life. So I think even just the little spark we're trying to give people is like, you're not your illness. You're not this terminal disease if you have. You're so much more than that. Um, and then, so another thing I want is for everyone to um, discover their essence map, which is like knowing their strengths, knowing their values, and knowing their purpose. I mean, I say it like it's really easy, and it's not really easy, and it's also not a one and done. We live long lives, and it changes throughout that time. But to be able to hold on to any of that, I know for me personally, it feels like something I can continuously go back to. And it feels like, especially when I'm living in it, when I'm really living my strengths and values and my purpose, that I feel so whole. And I want more people to be able to experience
Right. Right. Just like you want to be physically fit. I mean, I know that you are. You go to the gym, you're really, I mean, you eat well. So you've got that part and you know how it feels in your body. We're doing the same thing. I mean, that's kind of how I see it, is that
that. Hmm.
CJI is doing that with the essence map, or yeah, we'll just go with the essence map right now. That we're talking about what is it that you bring to this world. It's not like, oh, just be happy or just be focused over there. We actually are talking about how do we like make healthy the inner workings, right? Because you're working out and eating well makes your body healthy. So now
Hmm.
how do you make the inner workings healthy? And I don't think that there is a gym that you go to or a school that you go to 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 do that, but we've created CJI so that there is a place where you go, okay, so I'm going through this particular challenge, and this is me like visionizing you, and I'm going through this particular challenge. Where do I go to fortify me, to learn about who I am, so that I become this entirely healthy being to the best that I can? I mean, we don't push perfection. We
Hmm.
think everybody's imperfections are part of what makes them so beautiful, but it's like,
Hmm.
how do I be that me that
Yeah.
is in alignment with what I want, who knows what I want, who can manifest what I want because it's mine and it's just for me, so that, I'm walking down the street and I'm filled with joy and delight because I'm living my life, the best life I can, on purpose, with what I bring, living my purpose. I mean, I
Mhm.
know so this sounds so convoluted and maybe like pie in the sky, but I know we do this, which is
Mhm.
that why I want everyone else to have it out there.
Yeah, yeah, I so agree. Like when you say your inner workings, I'm really thinking emotional, mental, spiritual, how we're connected to ourselves. And I mean, I think that also affects the physical health, and then physical health also can, help the mental health. They all kind of blend together, but exactly what you're saying. It's like we should have um more ways, more places to go when we're feeling honestly like a little broken or like disconnected from ourselves, I think that cancer is a really big door that opens for everyone, whether they're a patient, driver, survivor, caregiver, because they're different doors, they're completely different paths with different experiences, but cancer just opened that door and it invites you to walk through. We at least see it as inviting you to walk through. And
Right.
I love that what we do is really, it's not asking you to rewire your brain. It's not asking you to be someone you're not. It's not um, trying to fit you into a mold. It's teaching you tools in this framework that you can apply to yourself in whatever way that you want to do, and it's flexible. And there's so much grace for the highs and lows. You could be really, really living your strengths, and then all of a sudden something could happen, nothing could happen, and you just fall out of it. And you're just in this phase where it's like you're not connected. Um, and you're not living in what your true purpose is, and maybe you're still searching, maybe it's just a process that you're going through, but there's you can always come back into your strengths, into your values, into your purpose, um and find wholeness again, but
Yeah.
we don't know what wholeness feels like until we know what it feels like to be broken down.
That's very true. When you really start feeling like something's not right, but I don't know what's right.
Hmm.
So let's go find out what's right. Where do I
Hmm.
go? Here. That's what I want the most. When someone goes, it's not quite right. I need some answers. I don't know where to go. Where do I go? I want their first call to be to the Cancer Journey Institute to say, are you the right place for me? Let me try you on. Oh, it is the right place. Great. Let's keep on going. Oh, not the right place. Okay. And we can help direct them to someplace else that might be the right place for them. But it
Yeah.
just, yeah. I mean, it feels so good for me to be here where I am when I'm standing in my strengths and I'm being with my emotions and I know what my purpose essence is. Like I can go back. That is my touch point, my touchstone. It's like, oh, right,
Hmm.
that's me. And then I just show up in the world and then I am dancing on the street, delighted and happy and joyful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, positivity is your number one strength, so of course it
I
is.
know. Yeah, of course. Of course. Oh, I think we can go on and on, but let's pause here. What's your takeaway for today?
Oh, my takeaway, all I can think of is things that I I want to share this with so many more people. And I want other people to ask for what they want from us. We do so many things and it can be really difficult to like when you're trying to find your place, you're like, is that exactly a right fit? So I think we do a really good job of, we have our community concierge Kathy who's able to really work with everyone on an individual basis and say, this is where you should go, this is where I recommend going to next, just based on their experience. But I really want everyone to be able to ask for what they want. Um,
Right.
and so my word is honestly asking for what I want more.
More. Okay.
Yeah.
My takeaway is that there's nothing to fear here. Right. I mean, as you were talking about Kathy, our community concierge, she does a really great job at matching what or just even having the conversation, which she's so perfect in her job. What I want is for people to reach out and have the conversation. I mean, I'm going to have the conversation with pretty much anybody who taps me on the shoulder and says, tell me more. What's this like? And what I would like is people just calling up and saying, I want a gift session. I want to try it on. Let me see what this is about. Let me see if it's right for me. And they can, because it's a gift session. So it's absolutely free. And
Hmm.
it's an experience that they can actually gift themselves, which I think is lovely. So
Yeah.
for there, I'm going to pause there because the generosity. I want us to lean into the generosity of all of it, of the universe, and say yes.
Hmm. Yeah. Is that your word?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you for tuning in this week. Again, new episodes every Friday, so we'll see you next week.
Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now.